VHS Files contains spoilers, adult content, and harsh language. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, losers? I'm glad y'all can make it to my show. God.
The Jason show?
Exactly. God. What the hell is with this show? I put it in my writer like a week ago. There's no Evian, no nothing here. I'm here all alone. What the fuck? My Ferrari's broke down. I was on the way here. I had to wait for the Jag to come get me. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
I mean, you guys wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand.
Welcome back to the VHS Files Podcast, and today we're talking about douchebags.
The
Douchebags. All the major douchebags in film. We're doing a top 4 for you guys. We're back with another top 4.
Love a good top 4.
Yeah. And we always argue about which top 4s we want to do. We're going to maybe do some fun stuff with that coming up in the future. But for now, I was inspired this week about douchebags in film. Those guys that you just see and instantly hate. And this was brought on by watching the show The Bear recently, which, Eric, I think you've watched as well.
Yeah, I'm not done with it, but yes.
Well, there's this particular character in that show, the character of Richie.
Merry Christmas, lizards.
And this dude is the worst person on a TV show I've seen in years, aside from maybe Frank from Shameless. But this dude is like... And the actor who plays him, his name is really weird. I'm probably going to butcher it. It's Ibn Moss Baccarat. He has been in a bunch of TV shows, and I've always thought he was a douchebag. Like all the characters he plays.
He's great in it. He's a great douchebag, though.
I mean, that is how little of a sense of the world that you have. You're gonna get murdered one day.
Yeah, I mean, he fits the part very well. I mean, he's probably a great guy in real life. Most people who play douchebags probably are great people in real life, but
I wouldn't say that.
Those guys that do play douchebags do it very well.
I'm curious which douchebags we name in film will also be douchebags in real life. Some might be.
Yeah, I mean,
good idea.
Until you meet them, you'll never know. Jenny and I were having a discussion about this earlier. I forget who it was we were talking about, but I was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable calling them a douchebag. I've never met them.
A potential douchebag, or thought of as a douchebag.
It's almost like he plays it too well.
Right.
So does he do this naturally?
Those are the guys that play douchebags well and naturally, and then there's guys that you just assume are probably douchebags, like Jared Leto. But
I wonder if Jared Leto will come up in this conversation. It's possible.
It's
certainly
possible. It's a possibility. I will go ahead and spoil it. He's not on my list.
He's not on mine. He's not on my list either. Spoiled.
Oh, no, Jared Leto. Okay.
Well, I figured in a conversation about douchebags, his name had to come up somehow. So
Jared Leto was about to stop the podcast, but he pulled his finger away from the button and go, oh, okay, I'll listen to this.
And I thought this would be a great top 4 and to talk about some of these characters in movies that have just, made us ooze hatred for them. But I kind of had a little bit of a hard time making this list when we decided this is what we're going to do. How'd you guys do with it?
Oh, dude, I come up with 20 like that.
I struggled a little because I thought, oh, this will be easy. And then as I started thinking, first of all, I know I'm blanking on a lot of 80s douchebags. Like they've all blended into my brain, and I
got a lot of 80s and 90s.
I was hoping you guys would fill in some gaps that I know but some. There's some, and I think we need to ask each other, what is a douchebag? That could be taken different ways.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll start by reading the definition that I read.
I was going to say, Mr. Googling it. What's the definition?
On an anonymous website that I don't recall, it says a jerk or asshole, a mean or rude person, someone seen as being arrogant, snobby, or obnoxious. What? Now that's close to how I felt about what I thought a douchebag was.
I feel that.
What do you guys, when you think douchebag, what is that for you?
I mean, what you pretty much described.
Yeah, does that pretty much nail it?
Arrogant prick. He thinks he's better than everybody. Like you should be kneeling in his presence and he's going to treat you like shit, be it you a man
Right.
or a woman
Selfish.
in the film. Selfish, self-centered, mean about it. Like I said, will do the most vindictive thing possible to better himself or herself.
Right. I think for me is unlikable, and in many cases, like not backing up the arrogance. You know what I mean? Like some characters are arrogant and are assholes, but they're not douchebags. What's the difference? The douchebag is like has no self-awareness or something. There's something like about a douche. I think it's self-awareness is the biggest thing. Like you can be an asshole and not be a douchebag if you are self-aware. I don't know.
And this is what we went back and forth with on the text messages a little bit was, what constitutes an asshole or a douchebag? They could be the same people, or a bully. That was one of the things that brought up was top 4 bullies.
A lot of douchebags are bullies in the film.
And I think really what constitutes like the separation between asshole and douchebag is like, I feel like the douchebags are people who are getting off on treating people like garbage. Whereas an asshole, like you can just have an asshole's personality and not even realize you're being an asshole to people.
Excellent point. Yes, they're cruel for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Jason's pointing at me right now, and I
only because Josh openly admits
a lot of fingers being pointed tonight.
I'm an asshole.
What a douchebag.
Exactly. But that's kind of what I started thinking about when we were deciding what we're going to do. And I think it's the people who actually do, like, the first thing I think of, and I didn't put him on my list because he's just kind of so obvious, but it's like, I think of James Spader because he's so notorious for the parts he played in the 80s of being this guy who not only is an asshole, but got off on making everybody's lives miserable in multiple roles.
You're a bitch. I think you ought to see a doctor because that condition of yours could get a lot worse.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't put him on my list, though.
I didn't either, but he certainly came up. He was on my honorable mentions.
I mean, he is the most honorable of honorable mentions here. I mean, you can't.
So he didn't make anyone's list, as honorable as he is, huh?
No, he didn't even make my honorable mentions list.
Wow.
Well, you must lead a charmed life. Who's all I could do to save your skin in here?
Yeah, we definitely got plenty of honorable mentions. Like Eric's talking about drawing a blank for the 80s. I think I kind of hit that area a little hard. Instead of going more new, I thought you guys would probably, because I know you guys watch a lot more modern TV than I do, and a lot of shows and movies that I don't. So I was like, I'm going to go older
film.
school.
I feel like we always have this problem, Jason. Are you coming to this thing with television, or are we all film here with you?
No, because you didn't state film. You just said
it's always film. It's always film. I had people that I would have put on my list if we were including television. I feel like bringing in television, there's like TV shows. You always have a douchebag on like every TV show.
I would only have to change one of mine, which I could do that because I got plenty more to choose from.
This is a movie podcast.
In all fairness, a TV show character did inspire me to make this, do this podcast about this particular list, but I did only choose film roles here.
Yes.
So, but yes, I mean, if there was a top 4 TV douchebags, that dude from The Bear would be right up there right now, along with Joffrey Baratheon, and you could go on and on with TV. I think there are a lot more douchebaggery going on in TV episodes than movies nowadays.
I think there is. I think there is.
I got a replacement. We're good.
Every TV show has their own, like Jean-Ralphio.
Oh,
yeah. That's an excellent douchebag from television.
It's like I always say, okay? When life gives you lemons, you sell some of your grandma's jewelry and you go clubbing.
It's not a good piece of advice.
So I'm gonna throw up. I ate too much cheese. I'll talk to you.
But he's a lovable douchebag. Like you can even do different genres of them. Like you got your lovable douchebag and your asshole douchebag, your stupid douchebag. You can go all over the mark with it.
Well, I mean, Kenny Powers. Or any like Danny McBride TV show, the Righteous Gemstones too. Like, he is the quintessential douchebag.
Oh yeah, I didn't do him either.
He's made a career on being a douchebag. I mean, he's like the greatest douchebag I can possibly imagine. But I don't have him on my list because while he has been a douchebag in film, the roles are I don't know. It hasn't reached the levels that he's done in television.
Well, I think the closest you get to that is maybe his performance, and This Is the End.
Yeah, I was gonna say This Is the End, where he plays himself
as himself. Yeah.
I just think that everybody should have the fucking same. I have a goddamn earring. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and kick off this countdown. We'll do it like we always do. Start at 4 and go down. I'm going to start this week because I picked this one, and I'm going to kick it off with Tom Cruise, Maverick, and Top Gun.
Wow.
You son of a bitch.
What is he on your list?
Number 1.
Holy shit!
So you're the one.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and say this. That was kind of my kickoff joke to troll Troy from Not a Bomb podcast. I do have Tom Cruise in my number 4 spot, but it's not Maverick. I thought I wanted to bring Maverick up though, because he's an asshole.
You just spoiled my number 1 with your little gag. I mean, I guess we should talk about it since it's my number 1. Oh,
Ruined the whole thing with a joke, Josh. Hey, what a douchebag thing to do.
I'm kind of relieved because now Troy can text you, Eric, and
yeah, he can text me. Let me just give my Tom Cruise rant, or my not Tom Cruise, but well, this is an instance where you might have a douchebag in your performer as well. But the you might, I don't know. Rewatching it recently, and I have not seen Maverick, the new.
I haven't seen it either.
I'm sure they developed that character in a better way in that. They have to.
No comment.
Maybe they don't. But having rewatched Top Gun, it's ridiculous. Like, I just really hadn't watched it as an adult. I did not like Maverick. I don't think that because he flies a plane good, I should like him despite all his shortcomings.
What you should have done was land your plane. You don't own that plane, the taxpayers do. Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
I don't feel like he really learned anything. He's a douchebag. And I put him first because he's seen as a hero. Right? So it's like, it's the biggest disparity between the douchebag versus the image of that douchebag. So I had to put old Maverick at the top. So that's my number 1, a spoiled douchebag.
But yeah, I had the same thing. Like I watched, and again, this one's not in my top 4, but I watched it recently and I felt the same way. I mean, I did not like him from the moment he came on screen. Yep. I did not like the journey that he went through. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, this movie's fucking really good, but I still don't feel that great about Maverick by the end of the movie.
It's not good with character stuff. It's good in basically every other way, but it's the character stuff is not good for me.
And Jenny was like, Iceman's a douchebag. And I was like, see, I don't find Iceman to be the douchebag there. I think he's the one who's trying to call Maverick out on being a douchebag throughout the entire movie.
Who was covering Cougar while you were showboating with this MiG?
Cougar was doing just fine.
Yeah, Iceman is more responsible at the very least. He's arrogant, but
right.
I whatever. He's a douche.
They both can be douchebags. Yeah,
they're kind of all douchebags. That's kind of the point to an extent. Yeah, they're a bunch of flyboys. I get it, but
the plaque for the alternates is down in the ladies' room.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, you kill me. You really do.
No, I don't think there's enough behind Maverick outside of his ability to fly that is likable, and he's as arrogant as any character I can imagine. And I don't know. I couldn't put anyone above him because most other douchebags get their due by the end of the film, but in this case, the douchebag wins.
So, who is your Tom Cruise character for your number 4?
Mine is Ray Ferrier. I think I'm saying that right. His character from War of the Worlds, which I just rewatched recently.
You know what your problem is?
I can think of a couple of women be happy to tell you.
I thought you were about to say his character from Magnolia.
Respect the cock.
Which would be an amazing douchebag also.
Man, is Tom Cruise good at this?
Well, that's
Or is he really a douchebag?
I felt like Tom Cruise was bound to come up at some point in some way. He's played the douchebag role quite a few times.
Such a great actor, dude.
He is.
I mean, he's like a chameleon.
He's crazy, but wow.
But like what we said beginning, is he that good of an actor? Or is he just being himself?
Well, we've seen Tom Cruise play charming also. So, I mean, the guy's a good actor. You can't deny that. Now,
Oh, yeah, he's great.
we were watching War of the Worlds recently. His character in that is just like the worst deadbeat dad I could ever imagine. Like,
That's half what I got.
You're an asshole. Hate coming here.
Why you act like such a dick?
and I'm sure, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are way worse dads out there, but just being the one that he is the hero you're supposed to follow, again, just like Top Gun, you're supposed to follow him and go on this emotional journey with him through this. And by the end of the movie, I still feel the same way about him as I did in the beginning. He gets his kids to safety, but I don't know if that's enough to redeem him being such an asshole as the character he's introduced at in this movie. So I think that character,
that's interesting,
trumps Maverick a little bit, because with you brought it up with the Flyboys, like you kind of have to have a sense of arrogance about you to do what those guys do.
Sure.
And
I get that.
That's the point in Top Gun, whereas he's just an all-out asshole douchebag in War of the Worlds who works a shitty job, who has a shitty life and is having to deal with all the shitty scenarios in his life, So I kind of had to give it to that character over Maverick. But I'm glad you had Maverick on your list. I thought it would pop up.
Yeah. Oh, it popped up. Isn't he a douchebag in Vanilla Sky too?
Yes. And there could be a case made for him to hold that title in that movie as well. But I enjoy the journey the character goes on in that movie. And by the end, I do feel like he redeems himself, sort of. That's kind of what I was looking at in this.
Oh, certainly. He goes through quite a transformation.
Yeah.
Lestat. Vampire douchebag. Tom Cruise again. Here we go.
Tom Cruise versus Danny McBride. War of the douchebags.
Celebrity death match. Or celebrity douche match.
Tom Cruise gets the edge because he's in real life kind of questionable.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go my number 4. He's a big time star nowadays, but back when he was nobody, he's still a memorable character douchebag to me. I'm going with the manager of Fashionable Male, Shannon Hamilton, played by Ben Affleck in Mallrats.
Look, if you don't stop gawking at me and get the hell out of here, I'm gonna kick your ass, okay?
Hey, haven't you ever heard the phrase the customer's always right?
Let me tell you something. I'll give you a little secret, okay? The customer's always an asshole.
That is my number 3.
Jesus Christ.
No! What? No, you're not. Nuh-uh. No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What?
Yeah.
How can we out of all the douchebags in the world, how are we coming up with these?
I don't know. Because they're just huge douchebags.
And what's funny,
go ahead.
Me being the biggest Kevin Smith fan out of everybody on this show, I did not put Shannon Hamilton on my list.
Dude.
Did you think of him at all? Or
I did think of him, but he is not on my list.
Well, I mean, when you said douchebags, and I'm sitting there thinking, I mean, I got another Ben Affleck character on here too, but I remember watching Mallrats for the first time, and I just really hated that guy. It's just not only that is he stealing Brody's lady, or trying to, and then he's having sex with 15-year-olds.
15? I thought you was 36. Come on, guys.
And he just talks about how all the kids in the mall are, they're mall rats.
One of these loser fucking mall rat kids. You don't come down here to work or shop. You hang out all day. Act like you fucking live here. Well, I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda.
He's a fucking douchebag to the whole, and the way he dresses, the way he talks, to his hairstyle, he's like a walking douchebag.
Yeah, he's slimy. And I again, going back to like what I think of as a douchebag, all that arrogance, and he's just the manager of a store in the mall.
Male.
Yeah.
It's not like he's some Wall Street like guy. He dresses like he is, but he just manages the suit store at the mall. It's the perfect example of a douchey guy who thinks way too much of himself.
Yeah.
Great choice, Jason.
Well, obviously, sorry, I ruined your number 3.
That's okay. I'm used to it. I don't even know why I'm here.
Well, now you're here to do your number 2 since we've already done your. Well,
no, I have my 4 still.
Okay, we didn't steal your number 4 yet, so yeah, let's go ahead and do your
number 4.
All right, my number 4 is going to be Rhett from Teen Witch.
And you're not, but if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
No clue, bro.
That's our man.
He looks like a douchebag.
He's rapping in the street, in the suburbs, out in the street, really loud. The girls are, well, particularly the one girl is very excited and thinks he's super hot. This is him and his friends dancing.
What kind of fucking dance is that?
Yeah. And the witch girl enchants her friends so that she can have a rap battle with them, and she totally roasts them big time.
That girl looks like Kate Mara. Like, what is with us seeing all these things with girls that look like Kate Mara?
She does. Kate Mara looks like her, actually. Kate Mara
she would be way older. Yeah. I don't remember this movie.
Anyway, I'm hot and you're not. That it's pretty epic. So that's my number 4.
Eventually, that movie will end up being talked about on this show because Jenny will not have it any other way. She's going to want to talk about that movie. We may have to get Nathan on that episode as well.
I can miss that day.
Yeah, me too.
Well, good one, Eric. All right, we haven't heard of it, so that's a good one. Hey, now we know there's another douchebag in the world.
Well, now it's on my watch list, so I'll check it out. All right, so we're back to me with my number 3.
Number 3.
All right, number 3, I'm going the infamous Rob Lowe in Wayne's World as Benjamin Cain.
Americans, of course, don't recognize the convention, so it becomes that thing of calling all of their sparkling whites champagne, even though by definition they're not.
Made my honorable mentions list. Good one.
Nice.
Good one.
Wayne's World is still one of my favorite Saturday Night Live movies. And I think this was really, I knew Rob Lowe from the 80s movies where he was doing the teen stuff and the, St. Elmo's Fire and everything. I watched those movies with my mom, but this is really the first movie I saw him in that was like a movie I liked, not something my mom watched all the time.
Right.
And just his character in Wayne's World, from the moment he comes on screen, you're like, this guy is the biggest ass. He's a douchebag and doesn't really learn much of a lesson by the end. And it was, for the longest time, because of this movie, I just did not like Rob Lowe.
Oh, yeah. Could stand Rob Lowe.
Sorry you feel that way, but basically it's the nature of the beast.
Did not want to watch him in anything. Like, this role in this movie made it to where, like, Rob Lowe, I could care less about him.
I always knew you were small time.
It wasn't until Parks and Rec that I found my love for Rob Lowe.
If I keep my body moving and my mind occupied at all times, I will avoid falling into a bottomless pit of despair.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Yeah, because even in Tommy Boy, he was that way. He was slimy and horrible.
Yeah, Tommy Boy was on my honorable mentions as well. The brother, the stepbrother.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was. Yeah, that's a good one. Did they find out it wasn't his mother? I think they find out
his mom. Yeah.
They pretend they were con people.
Right.
The con folk.
Are you talking about people who go to Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Con folk?
People going to Leprechaun. Yeah.
A leprechaun.
It's a con for lepers.
This year at Leprechaun 2022. Leprechaun. Philadelphia, PA. Leprechaun.
Lost your arm? Don't worry. You can pick one up at Leprechaun.
I have to mention, as I always do, I met Rob Lowe in New York on the sidewalk. Took a picture with him. It didn't come out. And that's that.
Maybe because he's a witch.
Maybe. He's a vampire.
He's a vampire or something.
He's hundreds of years old. Yeah, he's a great douchebag. He plays a great douchebag for sure.
But he also plays a very lovable person.
Well, that's why Chris is so great, because is it Chris? It's Chris,
Yeah,
right?
Traeger. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, that's why Chris is so great, because he appears to be a douchebag in the beginning, you know, with all the superficial stuff, but then you realize he's
got a big heart,
lovable fella.
Big heart.
All right, Jason, number 3.
Well, I had to change my number 3 since we're not doing TV shows. Since you just did a Saturday Night Live alumni type movie, I'm going to go with one too. I'm going to go with Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Bye-bye, huh? Well, you're fired. Bye-bye.
On my honorable mentions,
Christopher McDonald.
Mine as well.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's just asshole douchebags. Like, he's like, I'm better than you. Why are you on my tour?
Let's get one thing straight. This is Shooter's tour. I've worked hard my whole life, paid my dues, and now it's Shooter's turn. Oh, you're on. You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
Yeah, just the overall feel of the whole like big time PGA golf pro guy, or like people you see that just go to golf courses and play and just dress like that. I'm like, dude, you look like a douche.
Credit also, I think, to Adam Sandler, because when I thought about this subject, I thought about a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
And while they are very formulaic, especially, you know, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, some of these ones in that era, I still like them. I think they're hilarious. I know like not everybody does, but I think they're funny, and they always have a great douchebag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Like it's like it has to be in there somewhere. You have it's like a part of his formula. So.
Well, you've got Bradley Whitford and Billy Madison.
Yep.
And Bradley Whitford's another one who plays a douchebag really well.
He is.
I mean, him in the. I mean, if we're talking TV, you know, him in The Handmaid's Tale right now, he's just like, he's back and forth, but you're still like, this dude is an absolute douchebag. But he's worthy of honorable mention for sure.
I picked a new number 3.
Okay.
Can I pick a new number
I like
3?
it. I like it.
I like it. I like it.
Gonna go with Man in Hotel Lobby, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Oh, I wonder who that man is. Somebody from recent news events.
A douchebag.
Someone whose house was just raided by the FBI. God, what's his name?
I forgot.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. But that's Eric's number 3.
Number 3.
Number 2 for me is going to be White Goodman from Dodgeball.
You caught me. I like to break a mental sweat too.
Yes. On my honorable mentions.
On my honorable mentions too.
In 30 days, I'll be bulldozing that shit heap you call a gym into permanent nothingness. Show Mr. LaFleur out. Turn it up high, Reggie. I want to burn.
Oh yeah, douchebag for sure.
I love Ben Stiller comedies, man. Like Dodgeball, Tropic Thunder is one of the funniest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he's great. I love him too.
But just how he gets so into the role of White, and just the hijinks that go down in Dodgeball, all of the quotes he has throughout the entire movie.
We should mate.
What?
Date. I said we should date sometime, you know, socially. Go out and kick it. Ball me, Blazer. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody! Oh, I don't think I'm a lot dumber than you thought that I thought I was once. Stick it in your ear, LaFleur. Real freaking naughty.
You never once liked this guy throughout the entire runtime of the film.
No.
And I think he's one of the most lovable douchebags I'm probably going to talk about tonight, just because he's so mean and he's so ruthless, but yet you could tell like he couldn't stand up in a fight. Like
he's ridiculous.
He's terrible.
Yeah, he's just silly. So it's not like too awful.
Touché.
And that was one of the first ones that came to mind for me was Ben Stiller in that movie. I think he does the role great. I think he plays it with just enough pizzazz that you like him, even though you hate him. So that was going to be mine. Number 3, White Goodman.
That was number 2.
Number 2, White Goodman.
White Goodman.
White Goodman. Yeah.
Take 2. Number 2, White Goodman.
So is it me now? Number
All
2.
right. Drop that deuce, Jason.
Number 2, see, what do we have? So what have I had so far? I had a mall douchebag. I've had a sport douchebag. Or golf douchebag, I call him. I'm going to go with number 2 with the straight up jock college douchebag. I'm going with Stan Gable. Revenge of the Nerds Part 1.
I am an alpha beta, and I know that no member of my fraternity could have perpetrated such a callous, heinous act against the nerds, or the Tri-Lambs.
Excellent.
Tedley, was it McGinley?
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, yeah. I mean, I didn't even know what a douchebag was. I had not liked that guy.
Yeah.
Since Revenge of the Nerds Part 1. And he was even kind of that way in Married with Children when he was a next door neighbor.
I always thought he was funny in Married with Children.
I did. I liked him in Married with Children,
Yeah.
but he was kind of a douchebag. I don't want to.
Sure. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
What else has he done besides those? Like, I think he's most famous for Married with Children and maybe Revenge of the Nerds as far as movies go. I can't recall any other movies he was in.
Because he did a couple of the nerd movies. I think he came back for part 4 or 5 or something.
Is there some problem, Officer Gab? It's Gable.
Yeah, he did a lot of television. I'm looking at him here.
Making another appearance on this list is Bradley Whitford is the guy in part 2.
Oh wow! Look at these geeks.
He is my honorable. They were going for number 2.
Yeah,
both of those guys from Revenge of the Nerds Part 1 and Part 2. When you said him earlier, I was like, man, I'll save him for my honorable mention. But yeah, he is on mine.
Well, Revenge of the Nerds is one of those movies that I'd love to talk about on this show. However, I'm scared to talk about it in a sense because there are things that occur in that movie that are not quite PC.
Oh yeah.
Well, the majority of the 80s movies aren't.
Right. Yeah. But it's still a movie I have fond memories of watching as a kid. It was just one of those, sex comedies that, maybe the people that were a little bit older than I was had Porky's. I had Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah.
And, it was just one of those kind of movies for me. And, I still go back and I watch it from time to time, but, I kind of wonder what the writers were thinking with the script of that movie sometimes.
It's amazing how much things have changed.
Yeah.
Even watching stuff from 2000,
mm-hmm.
Going back 40 years, it's like,
yeah,
it's very different. But it's funny when you put on stuff from just 10 years ago and you're like, wow, this feels dated.
Yeah.
Because we really have changed quite a bit.
Getting back to Stan Gable, I mean, literally, he's the head of the alpha betas of the college. They are the football team frat house. He is that normal. I mean, that went on throughout the 80s and 90s. If you had a college movie, you had the frat house. That was the popular kids.
But he's a prime example of what I was saying earlier is, he's a guy that not only treats the characters in that movie like shit, he gets off on it. Like,
oh yeah,
there are blatant scenes of him, just absolutely enjoying torturing these kids. Yep. So yeah, I mean, he's prime example, and I'm glad you threw him up there.
Yeah, I told you I'd throw some older ones in here since you guys might have forgot some of the 80s stuff.
All right,
number 2.
My number 2.
Number 2.
I'm gonna
make it nutty.
I'm gonna bump it up to number 1. I'm gonna pick a new number 2.
Okay.
Number 2. I'm gonna go with Kayla, my wife's recommendation.
You're gonna go with Kayla?
Your wife is a douchebag?
Okay.
Bro, come on.
I did not
she
say
watches this show, right?
Anyway.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't. She said her first thought, which is a great suggestion, Glenn from The Wedding Singer.
Jules, are you gonna do the girl thing? You gonna act happy and you're gonna be pouting on the inside?
Yeah.
Yes.
Glenn Guglia.
Julia Gulia is what your name is.
There's your guy with his collar up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I was thinking about? I was thinking of him and Stan Gable. Yep.
So shout out to Kayla. Another shout out, Kayla.
Shout out to my wife.
Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. Oh, Jesus.
She's gonna come running. What the hell?
All right, so we're number one. We're at we're top spot.
Top spot.
Douchebagger. Mine. Number one.
I think Josh might ruin mine. I don't know. I'm
douchebagging. Number one. Number one.
Kind of leaned into the douchebaggery there. Go ahead.
Mark Zuckerberg and the social network.
Ooh, I love it.
Wow.
Do you see any of your code on Facebook?
Sorry, could
Mark, did I use any of your code?
you stole our whole goddamn idea.
Fellas, Match.com for
Can I
Harvard,
continue
guys.
with my deposition?
You know, you really don't need a forensics team to get to the bottom of this. If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
That is excellent.
Now Mark Zuckerberg is going to cancel our fucking show because you know he watches it weekly.
No, I truly think, I separate the movie Social Network from whatever happened with Facebook, whatever. I watch the Social Network to be entertained by a film, and I think that movie is a great vessel for that. I've grown to love the Social Network over the years. It is one of my favorite David Fincher movies. Maybe it is my favorite.
Ooh, don't say it. Don't say it.
I mean, I still really love Seven, but the Social Network is one of those movies for me that I'm so enthralled and entertained by watching it. And there's not really any action. There's not really anything like, it's not a blockbuster movie. It's a drama. It's a courtroom drama in a sense. And I'm so captivated by every moment of what's happening in that movie. And I think that Jesse Eisenberg plays that part so well.
Your best friend is suing you for $600 million.
I didn't know that. Tell me more.
And it was a part that he was made for. I mean, he's done a few different things. We've seen him sort of blossom and to do a few different kinds of characters in his career, but he's kind of been known for being, typecast as that one particular kind of character. But I think he really brings a douchebag gravitas to this character, and is just like you're rooting for him throughout the movie, but you also think he's just a slime ball. Like everything he does is to benefit him and make himself better. And it's one of those performances and one of those scripts. Like Aaron Sorkin's script for that movie is absolutely amazing. And just that movie captivates me. And it's one of those movies that I think is rare, that can do very little and entertain me so much. And this is kind of my vessel for talking about that movie a little bit, because I don't know if it's something we'll ever talk about on the show, at least anytime soon. So
Sorry, my Prada's at the cleaners, along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops, you pretentious douchebag.
You're gonna go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that that won't be true. It'll be because you're an asshole.
Even though he's essentially the hero of the movie, Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, you can also make a case for Sean Parker in that movie as well.
I was going to say you could make a top 4 just from this movie with Sean Parker and the
Winklevi.
The Winklevi.
You Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah?
Cameron Winklevoss.
Hi.
Tyler Winklevoss.
Are you guys related?
Yeah, I mean, the Winklevi is a whole different story in real life now, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Social Network, it's a great movie. I watch it all the time. It's a comfort movie. I can put it on and watch it at any time, and I just love it.
You're not an asshole, Mark. You're just trying so hard to be.
I like it.
Great.
Jason?
My number one.
Drum roll, please.
Going to go with who's someone who was a douchebag since we were children. Kind of plays a douchebag, redeems himself in now. But back then, nobody was as big as a spoiled, I'm better than you, I'll kick your ass douchebag than Johnny.
You couldn't leave well enough alone. Could you, little twerp? No, you had to push it. Well, now you're gonna pay.
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. Yeah.
Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai.
Yes. Every
That's
time we
true.
do these top 4s, I do these on my own, but I'll ask a couple of my friends. I asked my girlfriend. I got a couple other friends. Hey, tell me some of your top 4s. This this guy came on everybody's list. He was on everybody's list. Johnny from Karate Kid. And I went, that's number one. When you got just multiple people from our age group, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, granted, now in the new show, Cobra Kai kind of redeems himself a little bit. But back then,
again, if we're talking TV, you want to talk Daniel LaRusso. Daniel LaRusso's kind of a douchebag in that show too.
Yeah, in the show, yes. But in the original, yeah, I mean, Johnny was the rich kid, had the dirt bikes with his friends, was at the big Cobra Kai dojo, picking on the kid that just moved over there from Jersey, and just like, you're messing with my girl, I'll kick your ass. Like he said, he was that, like, I want to ruin your life. I'm going to ruin every aspect of your daily school day. My buddies are going to ruin your day. I'm going to ruin your day. And then I'm going to kick your ass in this tournament.
Yeah.
I don't think you got enough of Johnny back then. I mean, yeah, he was the biggest douchebag when you were a small kid watching these movies. So
he even plays kind of the same sort of character douchebag in Just One of the Guys as well.
Yes, he does too.
He doesn't have the karate in that one, but he's still a douchebag in that movie as well.
Man, I'm not seeing that in a while. Man, we need to do that movie.
It's been on my list a couple of times, and I've kept pushing it back. But that's another one that I would like to talk about.
But yeah, good old Johnny.
Johnny, excellent choice.
What you got there, Eric?
Eric, have you watched Cobra Kai?
No.
What?
No. I mean,
Karate Kid was never a big thing for me. I've seen the first, I've seen the 3 Karate Kid movies. I've actually seen the newer one as well. But I've not seen I just don't have enough interest in that world to watch the TV show. I've heard it's good though. I don't know.
It's entertaining. I wouldn't say good.
Yeah. I like
like if you don't have the love for the characters, and I don't know if I care. So
come on, Eric.
I have a new number 1, bumped up from my number 2.
All right. What's it gonna be?
This is a douchebag that fits my description of what I think of a douchebag. Ellis from Die Hard.
Hans, Bobby, I'm your white knight.
I was absolutely wondering if he was going to be on somebody's list, because, if you Google douchebags in movies,
he's on the list.
He's quite commonly number 1 on that list.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's arrogant. He's rich. He's snobby. He's not very smart. He does not appear to have earned or deserve any kind of success. He's a big dumb idiot, and he gets what he deserves, or at least his arrogance leads to his downfall, and he's a big douchebag.
Hey babe, I negotiate $1 million deals for breakfast. I think I can handle this Euro trash. Hey, frequency talk, huh?
All the way up until the end, quite literally.
Yeah.
No, that's always been a scene that's great. Like, that's one of those scenes, kind of like the USS Indianapolis scene in Jaws. That whole thing over the radio with Ellis and
yes.
in them, and John knows that something bad's going to happen, and Ellis does not even. He's got
clueless.
Stop talking to them. Yeah.
He's too arrogant to realize.
And when you hear that gunshot, and you can see it in Bruce Willis's face. God, this is what makes Die Hard so fucking good.
It is so good.
Bruce Willis used to actually act in good movies.
But hey, whoa, man, the man can't act anymore. So
respect to Bruce Willis, but
exactly, man. Come on.
He hasn't done very good movies lately. I'm just saying.
No, he hasn't. But still, respect to the man.
But yeah, that scene where Ellis gets what's coming to him is definitely a moody and chilling scene, but he's absolutely begging for what happens to him.
What's funny is one of the guys that's in that movie was on my honorable mention for another movie.
Eat it, Harvey.
Who I thought was a douchebag in Die Hard also, but I didn't put him down. Who was also Walter Peck in Ghostbusters.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
One of my favorite jokes from one of my favorite comedies ever.
All right, so everybody's got their douchey top 4 out of the way. Top 4 douchebags we can think of.
I've only got a couple honorable mentions, so if you guys have got a lot, go ahead and throw some of yours out there.
Well, you guys have hit a lot of mine already.
I got a bunch.
Okay. Well, hit us with a few. I've got some as well.
I got Derek, Adam Scott from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
That's good.
I got him. My other Ben Affleck, Fred O'Banion, Ben Affleck from Dazed and Confused.
Y'all hear this little motherfucker's mom pulled a shotgun on me this afternoon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Total
that's good.
douchebag.
I was thinking later Affleck. I didn't think of that. It's good.
Let's see. We already said Bradley Whitford. A movie that we've talked about, Teddy from One Crazy Summer with the Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Fuck
a
that
douche.
guy.
That's a good
Boiled.
80s douchebag.
Let's see. I got Chet, Bill Paxton from Weird Science.
I thought that was going to be on your top 4, honestly. You brought up Weird Science.
I had him on up there, and then I kind of changed it. I actually thought he might have been on one of your guys. Just a couple more, and I'll let you see. I got the character Trent Sutton, played by Travis Van Winkle from Friday the 13th, 2009.
So you don't want to be friends after this? You don't want to hang out?
Let it go, Trent.
It's not me. This guy's being a dick.
Yeah, it's me. Obviously, I'm the one being a dick.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is a fucking douchebag. Douchebag!
I don't think I've seen that one.
Your tits are stupendous.
Oh, God.
So juicy, dude.
What on earth?
Oh, dude, Jim, Anthony Michael Hall from Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, that dude's an asshole.
That's a great one. Yeah, you're hitting some good 80s guys here.
Packard Walsh from The Wraith.
I haven't seen The Wraith.
I've seen The Wraith, but it's been a long time, and I'm not as familiar with it as Jason is, so I don't know. I know who you're talking about, but it's very vague.
Burke from Aliens.
Oh,
dude, he popped up on a bunch of lists.
Definition of douchebag.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if all you fuckers die. I'm making money off of this. I don't care. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, he popped up on a tons of, and I was like, oh, man, I didn't think of that. You know,
I
going
didn't even think of
outside.
that either. Yeah, that's a good
That
one.
popped up, but yeah, that's pretty much all the ones I got. I mean, I got a couple more, but
surprisingly, none of those are on my honorable mentions. So, Eric, you got a couple more you want to throw out there?
Yeah. Cut.
Eric.
Yeah, I do.
Are you awake over there?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait. Let me clear my head. I like to nap when Jason's speaking.
Douchebag!
Fuck you!
I have the Jesus from Big Lebowski. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like he's a douchebag. I've got Bob from RoboCop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a pretty good douchebag. Got the girls over the cocaine. He's a real douchebag. Ernie McCracken from Kingpin.
Oh,
Bill Murray.
yeah.
He's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Great one. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Yeah, good one, Eric. I like that.
Thank you. I've also got Dr. Chilton from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah.
He popped up on a bunch of lists too.
Yeah, I saw him on the list as well. That's
We're
why I
having
put
an
him
old
there.
friend for dinner.
And I've got a couple of Maverick was a main character, I've got a couple other main characters here. Nick Van Orton from The Game. Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
I feel like he was kind of a douchebag, and that's kind of why he gets that whole thing happens to him.
Mm-hmm.
And also another Bill Murray, Frank Cross from Scrooged.
Oh my gosh. Does that suck?
Oh,
that one I did. It crossed my mind, and I forgot to put it on my honorable mention list.
Frank Cross cross your mind?
No, he did not.
Frank crossed my mind.
Now, I have to kill all of you.
Bill Murray's awesome in that. I can't believe one just popped in my head, and I can't believe I didn't think of it for my top ones, but unfortunately it didn't make the list at this point. Brad Pitt in Seven is a fucking douchebag.
Hey man, I'm right here. You can say that shit to my face, can't
Yeah. Yeah.
He is an absolute fucking douchebag from the moment you see him to the moment that movie ends. I feel for the guy, what happens to him, but wow, like he's one of those that almost kind of deserves what happens to him. He's so bad.
Man.
Is that all you got, Eric?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. That's it.
Well, surprisingly, I got a few here that nobody's mentioned, so I'll go ahead and throw mine out there. I've got Troy from the Goonies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. Good
The
one.
actor's name is Steve Anton, and I remember seeing him in a few other 80s movies, and he kind of played the douchebag role a few times. The other movie I really remember him from is The Last American Virgin, which is another teen sex comedy from the 80s that's not as well known, and it's a pretty fucked up movie in regards to being a sex comedy. But of course, it's one of those I saw quite a bit when I was a kid. But I think Troy in Goonies is a big douche. Gus from Pet Cemetery 2. Clancy Brown's character.
Oh, yeah.
If you've not seen Pet Cemetery 2, Clancy Brown plays one of the kids' stepfather in that movie, and
He plays he's the sheriff or cop in the town too, or
Yeah,
something. Ain't he?
he is a giant asshole, and you can kind of say the same thing for his character in Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption. I was about to say, dude, he plays the same
Yeah.
character as Shawshank.
Mm-hmm. Another one that if I hadn't seen this movie recently, I would have never put it on my list. But Commodus from Gladiator, Joaquin Phoenix's character.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's a great one.
Ancient douchebag.
Ancient.
When people talk about douchebags in history, that's the douchebag they're talking about. Is
Douchebags from history. Oh, I saw another one I didn't mention just quickly. Mike, who is played by Ed Norton in Birdman.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
He came to
Birdman
mind.
is such a good movie, dude. I have not watched
Right.
that movie enough. That would be another good top four. Is top four
Birdman. Sorry, what?
top four one take shots.
Oh yeah.
You could put that entire fucking movie on that list.
I have a douchebag, a musical douchebag from a movie that I know that me and Josh like. I love him. I love his music, but in the movie, he's a douchebag. Morris.
How's the family?
Morris Day at a time.
Morris Day at a Time from Purple Rain. That guy's a douchebag in the movie.
He absolutely is. But I love
forgot
it.
all about. I had him on my honorable mention. I just looked over, but yeah, dude, because I love the time.
Oh yeah. I love Morris in that movie. He's one of those lovable douchebags.
Yeah, he is a little douchebag, but I mean, he is a total douchebag to Prince in that whole movie.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the top four douchebag discussion with an honorable mention. The douchebag of douchebags. The douchebag, Nick Kroll from Sausage Party.
What do you mean, what am I, dude? I'm a fucking douche.
The literal douchebag in Sausage Party.
I've never seen Sausage Party. I didn't know there was a douchebag.
What?
Oh my god,
Dude, you gotta watch it, man. It's stupid fun, dude.
Yeah, I just never got around to it, man.
Well, I just spoiled a little bit of something for you there, but
There's a douchebag in it.
not enough to ruin the movie. But
Yeah.
wow, he plays a literal douchebag, and it is fucking hilarious.
Yes.
And Nick Kroll is another one who just his character in The League is a fucking douche.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The League. He's a great douchebag. The douche.
Who is
He's also the douche.
He is the douche.
in Parks and Rec.
Please call me the douche. Probably know me from my morning radio show on 93.7. Crazy Ira. And the douche.
And
Yeah.
a lot of the characters he plays in that show Big Mouth on Netflix, he plays like a very douchey character. I think Jason Mantzoukas could fall in that category with a few characters as well.
From Parks and Rec, I forget his character, the cologne guy.
Dennis Feinstein.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good douchebag.
There's some good
in that.
douchebags in Parks and Rec. We could just do
Absolutely.
top four douchebags in Parks and Rec.
That's true. That's true.
Top four douchebags TV. There you go. There's a whole nother one. We could be
Dude,
here
you'd
forever.
need like top
Yeah.
top 20 or something. There's so many douchebags in television. It's like a character that has to be in an ensemble show. Like when you have an ensemble show, there will inevitably be a douchebag.
Yeah.
In movies, it's not necessarily the case, but TV, it's like literally you could pull one from almost every single TV show.
Right. All right. Well, that's going to be it for our top four douchebag discussion here
I
on.
love a PBR, dude. I'll drink a PBR.
douchebag.
All day.
Hipster douchebag beer.
Delicious.
It's douchebag juice.
Douchebag juice.
Oh.
No. No, Joe.
All right. On that note, if there's any douchebags out there that we failed to mention, please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to talk about them with you.
Yeah, I'm sure we missed a ton.
If we have offended any douchebags, it's because you're a fucking douchebag.
And please make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribing if you like our content, and you can hear us on any of the podcast networks, wherever you get your podcast. Till next time, be kind.
Rewind.
I had to make sure my glasses are nice and polished because I want to see the honeys back at me. You know, my girlfriend wants to be able to do her lipstick through my glasses because they got to be nice and high polish. Oh, hold on. I'm kind of thirsty. Oh, yeah. Oh,
What?
Hey, and regular hipster douchebags, they drink the 12-ounce cans. I actually had Peps make my own cup for me because I totally dig their drink, bro. So, fuck you guys. If you were only as good as me, you could have this.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second, guys. My maid's here. Marguerite, I need something to drink. Can you give me a drink, please? And tell Muffy to shut up. Oh, hold on. Oh,
This is Muffy.
what the fuck is this? Aquafina? Get that shit out of here. We only drink the good stuff here.
Core.
God. Aquafina? What am I, like some dollar store degenerate? What the hell? I only drink the $1 bottle. If it's not $6, I don't want it. Which makes us douchebags for calling everybody douchebags. We're all douchebags.
I think we might have set a record for that. The most time someone said douchebag in an hour.